Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the first chapter in our module 1, that is Dancing in the Rain, written by Asim Premji. He was born in July 24th in 1945 in Mumbai. He is the chairman of Wipro Corporation. He is a philanthropist, social activist, socialist. He donated a lot of money to our Indian education system to bring changes in Indian rural education system. He conferred with several doctorates, honorary doctorates he has received in his life, and our Indian government honored him with the highest secondary civilian award, Padma Vibhushan and Padma Bhushan. He was awarded by our Indian government. Let us begin with the first paragraph of our textbook. One often hears of the high prevalence of child labor in our country. Of the many reports I have read, perhaps the most disturbing was a report on the condition of the children employed by jerry factories in Delhi, Mumbai, and other parts of India. It grieves me to imagine children exposed to such inhumanity. First, we confirm by reading the first paragraph, we confirm that this is in first person narration. First person narration means author himself directly interacting with the readers. So it is a first person narration. We can able to see the first person. For example, I have read, perhaps the most disturbing was a report on the condition of the children employed by the jerry factories. Who is I? I means the author Asim Premji himself directly interacting with the readers. Okay. In our country, in first paragraph, author is telling in our country it is a regular phenomena, a regular practice. We frequently we see it in we see about the child labor in newspaper and TV channels. It is a prevalence of child labor in our country. Prevalence means widely accepted or practiced. Regularly we practice. It is an accepted practice in our country regarding child labor. He reads many articles. He has seen many news on the child labor. Once he was affected, he was grieved by knowing about the children who they are working in the jerry factories in Delhi and Mumbai. He felt very distressed and suffered regarding them. The children who are working, the children who are employed in jerry factories of the Delhi and Mumbai and other parts of India, by them, by reading them, by seeing them, he was grieved and he was affected, he was felt depressed. So the children exposed to such inhumanity. In jerry factories, the children are exposed to the inhumanity that was grieved him, the author is telling. Okay. Let us what is the meaning of the word meaning grieves me? Grieves me means distressed or suffered. The Asim Premji was suffered knowing about the children employed, the children who are working in the jerry factories. That grieved him. Because in the jerry factories, children are exposed to the inhumanity situations. For example, what is jerry factories? In the picture you can see it here. A group of children are working in jerry factories. Okay, see how the children are working in jerry factories, how they are exposed to inhumanity situations. Jerry factories means they make designs by sewing needles on sarees. Okay, many of the children are working in Delhi and metro cities like Hyderabad and some other parts of our country. So Asim Premji want to tell us this is not fair. the children who are working in jerry factories. This is not fair, and this made him distressful. This made him grieved. Okay, let's go for the second paragraph. Robbing children of their childhood is a criminal act, and our society must weed this malaise out from the root. But where does the root lie? Before you attempt an answer, let me give you an anecdote from the other end of the social spectrum. In our India, in our country, people are robbing childhood from the children. It is a criminal act. Okay, the society is robbing the society is stealing children's life. This is a criminal act. This weed means unuseful plant, not valued plant. We should have to remove this weed malaise from the roots. Weed this malaise out from the root. Malaise means what? The problem affecting a group of people. The child labor is affecting group of people. We have to weed out this malaise activity. But where does the root lie? Do you know where the root exists? We don't know. We have to weed out from the roots. Then only the problem will be solved. Before you attempt an answer, before you are going to attempt me an answer, I am going to tell you an anecdote from other end of the social spectrum. Azim Premji here want to tell us an anecdote. Azim Premji want to tell us a fairy story about the social spectrum. What is the meaning of the spectrum? Spectrum means? What is the meaning of spectrum? A wide range of related qualities. Social practice in our society. From them he want to tell us a fairy story. Go for the third paragraph. A colleague in Wipro has a child studying in standard 9 of a reputed school in Bengaluru. This child wakes up at 5 a.m. and studies for an hour before going to school. She returns from the school at 4 p.m. and rushes for her IIT entrance exam coaching class. At 6 p.m. she has tuitions for 2 hours. Post dinner she spends an hour or more on homework. I asked her when she gets time to play. She replied that she does not play. She gets half hour free time each day, which she spends watching her favorite serials on television. She also added that board exams and entrance exams are very important and that you only get one chance. In the second paragraph, Azim Premji discussed that in our India, in our country, society is robbing children's childhood from them. This is a criminal act. Author want to tell us a fairy story regarding his colleague daughter in Bengaluru. The child, the colleague daughter, the child, wakes up at 5 a.m. and studies for an hour or before going to school. She wakes up at 5 a.m. and she studies for an hour before she going to the school. She returns from the school at 4 p.m. and rushes for her IIT entrance exam. Okay, when she returned back to her home, and when she returned back her home from the school, and she rushes for her IIT entrance exam coaching class. At 6 p.m. she has tuition for 2 hours. Post dinner she spends hour or 2 hours on homework. Okay, how busy she is. I asked her when she gets time to play. She replied that she does not play. Hardly she gets half an hour time in her day. Whatever the half an hour time she gets, she spends on watching favorite serial. And she also added that the board exams and entrance exams are very important and that you only get one chance. Here Azim Premji like to ask us, is the condition of this child different from of the child in the Jerry factory? Is there any difference between the child who are working in the Jerry factory and colleague daughter? She wakes up at 5 a.m. and she return back her home in the 4 p.m. and she attends the IIT classes and for 2 hours, and she practice our homework 1 hour or 2 hours. Is there any difference between this child and one who are working in the Jerry factory? Obviously there is no difference between these two childs. Jerry factory children is also working from morning to evening, and the school going children is also struggling and working from morning to evening. Hardly they are getting few hours time in her daily timetable. So there is no differentiation between these two children. When I look at children, I wonder whether they have time to play with friends, to meet interesting people, to explore the world, and to follow their curiosity. When the first monsoon showers begin, I would think that the streets would be full of children rushing headlong into the rain, dancing and playing. However, I think today the rains fall on empty street. Because of the hectic schedules, students are not getting time to play with their friends, and they are not spending time in the playgrounds. They are always spending time in the classrooms, and they are spending time in the factories. There is no time for them to spend with the children, and they don't have a time to play with the friends. Okay, Azim Premji like to tell us in 5th paragraph, when I look children, I wonder whether they have a time to play with the friends. I wonder, will the children get a time to play with their friends and to interact with the interesting people, to explore the world? They don't get a time and follow their curiosity. Simply they are following their timetable from morning to the evening, but they are not following their curiosity. They are not showing their interest on what they love. When the first monsoon showers begin, when first monsoon rain, when rainy season comes, when showers begin, all children should come out onto the street, and they rushing headlong into the rain, dancing and playing. However, I think today the rains fall on empty street. Azim Premji here want to tell us in 5th paragraph, the children, the modern children, they don't have a time to spend. They don't have a time to play with their friends, and they don't have a time to interact with the interesting people. They are not following their curiosity. Azim Premji asking us to dance in the first showers of the monsoon. When monsoon begins, the showers begin. He is asking us to dance with the merrily. He was asking us to dance in the rain merrily. But nobody is dancing in the rain. Nobody is dancing in the rain because of their hectic schedule. The school going children is busy with their school and timetable. The factory going children is suffering in the factories from morning to the evening. They don't have a time to play with their friends, and they don't have a time to dance in the rain. Azim Premji was thinking that the rain fall on empty streets. These days the rain is falling on empty street. The rain should fall on the top of the children. Okay, that makes them happy. That should happen. Let's go for the 6th paragraph. Let us discuss the hard word in the fifth paragraph. What is the meaning of headlong? Without hesitation, without any pause, without any delay, the children should come out onto the road and they should dance. They may dance in the rain of the first monsoon showers. Okay, headlong means without any delay, without any pause, without any hesitation. The children should come out. Azim Premji is telling us that without any headlong, without any hesitation, the children should come out and dance in the rain. What is happening these days? The rain is falling on empty streets instead of falling on the top of the children. The rain is falling on the empty street. Okay, let's go for the sixth paragraph. This is, my friends, is the new Indian reality in our villages, in our slums, and in our metropolitan high rises. Whatever the reasons, poverty, social aspiration, apathetic individuals and organizations are just the burden of the circumstances. The reality is that our children are straight-jacketed. Whatever the reason, the children are not following their curiosity, children are not allowing to think personally. This is our Indian system. This is the reality in our villages. This is the reality in our slum. This is the reality in our cities. This is the reality in our home. We are not allowing children to do what they love. We are imposing. We are forcing them. We are comparing our children with other children. This is not fair. We should not force what we love on our children. We should not force them to acquire our aspirations. Okay, maybe this is happening because of the poverty, societal aspiration, apathetic condition. Apathetic means showing no interest or no feeling or emotions. Yeah, apathetic individuals showing no interest or no emotions. In sixth paragraph, here we can see the meaning of apathetic. Apathetic means showing no interest, no feeling or emotions. We are not following children's aspiration. We are imposing our desires on them. This is not good. Azim Premji telling us. Let's go for the seventh paragraph. The final indicator of our country's independence is the way its children live. Are children free from the malaise of poverty and hunger? Are they free from the burden of the parental aspiration? Are they free from norms of social conditioning? Are we ensuring the curiosity of our children continues to burn and is not stumped out? Are they free from exploring the world to realize their unique potential and thereby help discover the true potential of the society itself? In seventh paragraph, the Azim Premji is questioning us. Are children free from the malaise of poverty and hunger? Are the children are free from the malaise activities, malaise, poverty and hunger? Malaise means malaise. In the first paragraph we have discussed regarding the malaise. Again the malaise word come back in the seventh paragraph also. What is the meaning of malaise? The problem affecting group of people is called malaise. The malaise of poverty and hunger. Are they free from the burden of the parental aspiration? Is children are free from the parental aspiration? Every parent imposing their desires on the children. Whatever the desires they have not achieved, asking them, their children, to achieve their dreams. This is not fair, this is not good. Are they free from the burden of the parental aspiration? No, there is no free from the parental aspiration. Are they free from norms of social conditioning? We are following social conditioning, social rules. We are not following our will, we are not following our heart, we are following our society. See how they are studying, his child is achieved MBBS seat, and our parents force us to study MBBS. We never show interest on MBBS, but our parents are forcing us. See, their children achieved IIT rank, their children achieved MCET rank. They are forcing, they are following the society. This is not fair. Malaise of poverty and hunger, it is imposing on the child orphans, and parental aspirations and parental burden is showing on children. This is also not fair. Are we ensuring the curiosity of our children continues to burn and it is not stumped out? Are we showing any? Are you encouraging our children to achieve their curiosity? Are we encouraging our children to pursue their desires? We always imposing our desires on them. We are not ensuring them, we are not allowing them to pursue their desires. This is not fair. What we are doing, stump it out. Stump it out means? Stump it out. Stump it out means? To strike or beat forcibly with the bottom of the foot. We are forcing them with our foot. Please follow the society. Please look at other children. Please never compare. We born with unique qualities. God has gifted with unique qualities. Never compare your qualities with other children. We are something in this world. Okay? We are imposing, we are forcing, we are stumped out. We are stumping them. We are forcibly stepping down their creativity, their imagination, mind. This is not fair. Are they free to explore the world? Are they free to achieve their desires? Are they free to explore the world, to realize their unique potential, and thereby help to discover the true potential of the society itself? If we allow them to pursue their own desires, if we encourage their unique potentials and thereby help to discover the true potential of the society itself, automatically society improves. If you encourage your son's unique potentials, if you do not shower, if you do not impose your personal desires on your son or daughter, automatically the society itself discovers true potential. Come on, let's go for the 8th paragraph. Gandhiji said that the greatest lesson in life are learnt from children, not from the learned men. Here Gandhiji said that once upon a time Gandhiji said that we are able to learn new things from the children, not from the learned men. A child will fearlessly try before giving up, as adults fearing failure. Children never fear to do new things. Without fear, they do come forward and they perform their task. But adults are not like them. Adults are fear about their failure. We give up even before we try. Sometimes we give up because of the failure. But if you look at the children, a child will fearlessly try before giving up. For example, a child is inherently curious about the world. From his birth only, he was very curious to learn new things. He was very curious to know about the world. He was very curious about the world, about the relationships, about the wanting to understand how things work. Okay, he was very curious from the beginning. When he grows up, what happened to his curiosity? Nobody knows. We are imposing our desires. We are comparing our child with the other children. This is not fair. Ajim Premji want to tell us, if you want to grow your children in proper way, let him encourage according to his wish. Let him encourage to pursue his own desires. Please never impose your personal desires on your children. A child is inherently curious about the world, about the relationships, about wanting to understand how things work. As adults, our blinkered and conditioned self prevents us from truly exploring without prejudice. For a child, what she does is meaningful in its own right. As an adult, we usually link every action to an external reward of money or recognition. As an adult, we link everything with the external affairs, external reward of money or recognition. We compare with them with the others. This is not fair. Inherently means, what is the meaning of inherently? Genuine quality, inherently, inner quality. Okay. Inherently means basically or permanently having a quality, a regular quality, inherent quality. We speak in different way, that is inherent quality. We walk in different manner, that is inherent quality, basic quality. Okay, a child is inherently curious about the world, about the relationships, about the wanting to understand how things work. As adults, from inherently, children is very curious to know about the world, to interact with the people. But when it comes to the adults, when it comes to the grown men or women, our blinkered and conditioned. What is the meaning of blinkered? Blinkered means narrow-minded, understanding limited in scope or understanding, limited in scope, narrow-minded. Adults are very narrow-minded and conditioned to self prevents us from truly exploring without prejudice. Prejudice means we kind of a opinion, prejudice, blind belief, like kind of a blind belief, kind of a opinion. Okay. Unreasonable dislike. Prejudice means unreasonable dislike without prejudice. A children inherently curious about the world, about the relationships, about wanting to understand how things work. When it comes to adults, what is happening? They are narrow minded, self preventive, and they worry about the failure, and their mind possessed with the prejudice. Prejudice means unreasonable dislike or preferences. For a child, what she does is meaningful in its own right. For children, whatever the thing he or she does, that is right. They are learning with the curiosity. As an adult, we usually link every action to an external reward of money or recognition. What children does, what she does is meaningful in its own right. Whatever the thing they do in their mind, that is right. But what adults are doing, we are comparing our work with others. This is not correct. We are external reward are imposing on us. Adult people are thinking narrow minded, and they have kind of a prejudices in their mind, kind of a blind belief, kind of a limited scope of understanding, blinkered. Okay, narrow minded people. Because of that, they are not achieving, they are not innovative. Always they compare with the society. link every action to an external reward of money or recognition. What is the meaning of inherently? Inherently, basic quality. Okay, blinkered means narrow-minded. Okay, blinkered, narrow-minded, conceived judgment or opinion. Let's go for the prejudice. Unreasonable dislike or preference. Prejudice means unreasonable dislike, unreasonable preference or dislike, called prejudice. Come on. From whom we learn new things? From the children or adults? We learn new things from the children, not from the learned men. Who said these words? By the Gandhiji. Come on, let's go for the ninth paragraph. I did not learn how to be father from manuals. Whatever little I learnt about being a parent, I learned by observing my children and letting them teach me. Similarly, I think our teachers could grow enormously by learning from their students. Azim Premji want to tell us he don't want to be a good father by reading manuals, by reading textbook. If you want to become a good father, reading textbook is not important. Encouraging their children towards their desires, encouraging their children to achieve their aspirations, that is important. Never impose parental desires, parental aspiration on the children, that is not fair. I am not going to become a good father if I read a manual or if I read a textbook. Okay, I don't learn a single point from reading textbook, or I never learn a single point from the manuals. Whatever little I learnt about being a parent, I learned by observing my children and letting them teach me. Whatever the knowledge I gained it from my children. They are teaching me. They are teaching me new things in my life. Whatever the knowledge I gained, I am observing from my children. Let them teach me. Similarly, I think our teachers could grow enormously. Azim Premji is telling that I am learning new things from my children. I don't want to be a good father by reading. I never became a good father by reading manuals. I never became a good father reading textbook. I am encouraging my children. I am learning new things from my children. And teachers could grow enormously. Teachers have a chance to grow enormously by learning from their students. Let's go for the 10th paragraph. We will then refrain from pushing our knowledge down their young minds and begin the democratic process of being giant learners as we discover and understand our world. I believe a powerful force from empowerment is to have motivated teachers who are learners first, teachers second. Only the will we stop trying to mold children into our adult likeness, only then we will let them blossom. In 10th paragraph, Azim Premji is telling us, please never force children from learning. Never impose your ideology on them. Let them think personally. Encourage them towards the creativity. That is important. Okay, what motivated teachers do? They learn first. Teaching is secondary for them. Okay, what motivated teachers do? They learn from the children. They learn from the society. Okay, teaching is secondary. Only then we will stop trying mold children into our adults. Please never mold children into our perspectives. Please never force your ideology on the children. Only then will let them blossom. If you never impose your ideology on the children, if you encourage children according to their wish, according to their ideology, then only the blossoms, kind of a blossom means they bloom in their life. If you impose your experiences, if you impose your ideology, if you impose society ideology on them, they never blossom. They become a machines, they become a robots, but they never become a powerful person in them, in their life. If you encourage according to their wish, according to their creativity, if you encourage them, then they are going to become blossom. Let them blossom, let them grow. Blossom means, what is the meaning of blossom? Blossom means bloom, become more healthy, confident. Okay, become more healthy. Let them confident by their own thinking. Now we are going to discuss about the 11th paragraph. If India has to develop economically, socially, intellectually and culturally, we must empower those most vulnerable to the social diktat. What is the meaning of vulnerable? Vulnerable means weak, easily affected. Diktat means kind of a order, dictation, dictate, kind of a order. Okay, if India has to develop, if India want to develop, what India has to do? If India want to develop economically, socially, intellectually and culturally, we must empower those most vulnerable to social diktat. We must empower, we must strengthen vulnerable situation in our country, social practice, social diktat. We have to order the society. Whatever the vulnerable conditions we are practicing, we must be ordered. We must be encouraged our children in their according to their wish. Then only our country economically and socially, intellectually and culturally, our country grows. Vulnerable means weak, diktat means order, force of law, harsh settlement, imposed, ordered. Diktat means order. Okay, vulnerable means weak. Let us resolve to give our children the freedom of childhood. Come on, let us give them a freedom of, let them encourage to enjoy their childhood. We are forcing them, we are asking them to work from morning to the evening. This is not fair. Let us resolve all the problems by providing their freedom to our children. Let us change our schools from being textbook prisons to the laboratories of explorations. Azim Premji is telling us, let us change our schools from textbook orientation to the laboratories of exploration. Let us change homes from being tuition centers to playground of art and sport. Okay, Azim Premji is asking us, if you want to develop your country economically, socially, intellectually and culturally, what we have to do, we should not impose vulnerable situations, we should not dictate our views, and we should not dictate our desires on them. Let us encourage them towards their wishes. Let them give their freedom to enjoy their childhood. Then only our country progresses in the economically and socially and intellectually. When we encourage the children, when we give the freedom to children to enjoy their childhood. How the schools has to be changed? The schools has to be changed from being textbook prisons to the laboratories of exploration. And how the homes has to be changed from being tuition centers to playgrounds of art and sport. Let us encourage our children to spend a lot of time interacting with their friends, interacting with their new people, and asking them to play in the field, asking them to play in the sports grounds. India will be radiant when our children are free to dance in the rain. When India is going to become powerful, when all parents allow their children to play in the dance, to play in the rain, to dance. Okay, when our parents allow them to dance in the rain, when they are free to play in the dance in the rain, then only our India is going to become radiant. India is going to become very powerful. Radiant means kind of a radiant means reflecting beams of light. Okay, let us conclude our chapter here. Dancing in the rain deals with the plight of the present day children. Today's young learners find no time for play, recreation. Teachers and parents pushes lots of information down the young mind. Students are not allowed to express themselves, but in reality children are better than adults in many respects. Okay, we are not allowing to do their we are not allowing them to do their interest. We are not allowing to perform their interest task. We are imposing our desires on them. This is not fair. When our country is going to become prosperous, when our country is going to become radiant, when our parents allowed children to free to dance in the rain. These are the words discovered. These are the words delivered by our author Azim Premji. This is about our chapter Dancing in the Rain, written by Azim Premji. Thank you all. We are going to meet in the next session about new topic.